No any doubt.
All right, so we'll directly jump into questions. If anyone has any
Invite
doubt,
yourself.
I'll prefer that, or we'll jump to questions. Yeah, I've curated some questions, and apart from that, we'll solve the mock.
Okay.
Yeah, Aman is asking for the link to cheat sheet. Can anyone provide that? Please add it. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. Please tell me when you can see the screen.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We can see the screen.
All right. So before we solve this mock, first let's go to the some questions, some easy questions that I selected from your previous questions. Okay. So let's start with the first question. It's visible, right? You have the Google Colab is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as you can see, we have two strings over here: Python and programming. Right. So now you have str3 equal to str1 plus a space and str2. And what is this called?
String slicing.
String slicing. Okay. So string slicing is done here. So what would be the final length of str3? Okay. So if you have answers, you can provide. We have the length of str1 is length is 6.
6.
All right. And this we are slicing from 0 to 8. What happens when you slice from 0 to 8? So if I've not given anything for the first index, it slices from the starting. It starts slicing at 0 and ends
0
at
to
7.
7.
Okay.
15 seconds.
Okay. So in here we'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, till here it will slice. So at the end we have, this is length is 6 plus 1. Okay, length is 6 plus 1, 7. And how, what would be the length of this? We are slicing how
8.
many characters?
8.
We are slicing 8 characters
8
from 0 to
characters.
7. Okay, so that will be plus 8. So total
50.
15.
50.
50. Okay, pretty simple.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next up, x is 15, y is 20. We have a bunch of if statements, if else if statements. And they're asking what is the result at the end. So x greater than y. We'll check if x is greater than y. Is this statement true?
No, sir.
No,
False,
sir.
sir.
No, right?
False.
So since it is false, it will check for the next statement, right? So
Yes.
is this statement true?
Yes,
True.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So
Yes,
x
sir.
is less than y. This is true. So the result will be y minus x. So that will be 5.
Yes, sir.
5.
Okay. So since one of these if else if statement was correct, the else statement won't run. All right. This is should be very clear. Else
Yes, sir.
statement won't run.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Directly it will skip everything and print result. So that will be result is 5. Okay. So in here we are having a number. Int input enter a number. So we have to be very careful with this also sometimes. Sometimes they don't provide type conversion here. So if you don't provide a type conversion here, what is the default type input will give you?
String.
String.
String. Okay.
String.
Very careful about that. Even if you input integer, it will by default take it as a string unless you convert it explicitly. Okay. So we have r num equal to 1. I don't know what that is right now. We'll check. So next up, we have a loop. In this loop, we have num not equal to 0. So num is provided Num is here. Assume 2, 3, 4, 5 is passed as input. What will be the output? So the num is 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, while num not equal to 0. When will the statement, when will it get out of this loop?
When the
When num equal to
value
0.
of num is equal to 0.
Then 0.
Okay, right. So when num is equal to 0, get out of loop. Okay, is everyone clear with this? When we say num not equal to 0, while num not equal to 0, that means loop through it while it is not equal to 0. Okay, so anytime n becomes 0, then it will get out of the loop when n becomes 0. Okay, so now we have the digit equal to num modulus 10. Num modulus 10. What will that give me?
5.
Gives the last two digit of num.
Yes. So when you divide the digit, any number, by 10, the remainder that you get is the last digit. Okay. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 10. What will be the remainder?
5.
5.
5.
5. Okay. So in short, we can say that if I divide it by 10, whenever I do mod 10, it gives me the last digit. Okay. This is pretty common practice. So remember this. Whenever you mod a number by 10, then you get the last digit. So that is 5. So the first iteration, it will become, this digit will be 5. All right. So next, r num equal to r num into 10. So we can go step by step. What is r num? 1. Okay, r num was defined over here. It is 1 and into 10. So that will be 10 plus the digit. So 5.
15.
50. 50.
15. Fine. And r double division. What is this called?
Floor division.
Greatest integer.
Integer division. Okay, so what is the difference between this and num normal division, n divided by 10, suppose?
It will give a float, but
Float,
that
float
an integer.
value.
Quotient. Floor of the quotient will be the answer.
Yes. So in this case, when you have the single division, that is called the normal division, you will always get a float value. And in this case, with integer division, the double slashes, you will get a integer value, the floor value of this division. All right. So, and there's another shorthand over here, divided equal to. So what this does, it is, I don't know what it is called. So what this means is equal to num divided by n. Okay, whenever you see this format, suppose we have multiplication equal to. This means now whatever number you have, n equal to n into 10. Okay, so this means num equal to num divided by 10. So when you divide it by 10, what it does, it removes the last digit. So you only get the first 3 digits in this case. So it gives you 2, 3, 4. So are you seeing what is happening over here?
Yes,
Number
sir.
of digits getting
Yes,
reduced.
sir.
Last digit. So after, what I suggest you do is go through the program once, and after you calculate all these things, find the pattern what is happening. So in this case, we can see the pattern what is happening here is this digit is removing the last digit, then our number is multiplying this digit by 10 and adding that. Okay.
It is reversing the digit.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have num divided by 10. So num is removing that digit. Okay. So we can see the pattern after we got the pattern here. So next up, it goes through that and does it again. So next iteration, it will remove 4. It will multiply this 15 by 10 and add 4. So 154. Okay, 154. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And then again, it removes that 23. Now it becomes 23. Num becomes 23. So now again it will check. It will go digit. It will remove now 3. It will be 1154 plus 3. Okay, and similarly now only 3 is remaining. So 3 will be removed. What did I do? Oh no, only 2 is remaining now. Okay, it was 2, 3. 3 got removed. Only now 2 remains. Okay, now it gets to, it will be 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. And then at last it becomes, what happens when you do num equal to num 2, 2 divided by 0? What will be the
0.
value? That will be 0.
0.
So now you can see n becomes 0 or num became 0. So this condition will be false now. Okay, so as soon when n becomes 0, get out of the loop. So n became 0, get out of the loop. Now I'm printing r num. So r number is this particular value. Okay, everyone's clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So next up we have a question on lists. We have, this is a list, right? It has 2 elements, -1 and 1. And what is this for loop doing? It is ranging from 0 to 7. So it will give values from 0 to 7.
Running 8 ends.
And next up, we are getting the size of L. What would be the size of L?
2.
Okay, so that will be 2. And now this is all the magic is happening. Value. So whenever you get an expression, such a big expression, you go what is inside the brackets first. So let's see this one. L at size minus 2. Size is 2. 2 minus 2.
Yes, sir.
It will take -1.
Okay. L at, no, 2 minus 2. This one right now.
0.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It will be 0. Okay. L at 0. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, plus L at, what will be the next one?
2 minus
2 minus 1.
1.
How is it minus 1?
2 minus 1.
2
Okay,
minus
2 minus
1.
1.
1.
Yeah, that'll be 1.
1. It's
Okay.
1.
So we computed this one. So what will this give me?
2, sir.
This gives me
It's 0.
0.
this element. L at 0 was the 0th element.
-1.
L at
And
1 is the first element. So that will give me 0.
0.
Okay. 0 now into
Multiplied
2.
by 2.
That is also 0.
Yeah.
Okay. At the first iteration, I got 0. And now what are we doing? L dot append. You know what append does?
addition of that element
Yes.
into
So
that
it adds it where?
Into the right
L
side.
Yes.
Right side.
At the end of the list. So it will take the list and then it will add 0 to it.
Fibonacci
now-
sequence, sir.
Yeah, sorry?
Is this code for Fibonacci sequence, sir?
I didn't get your question.
Is this code like Fibonacci sequence, sir?
I'm not sure as of now. We'll go ahead and as we loop on, we'll see. Okay, L. So now my L becomes something like this: -1, 1, and 0.
0.
Okay, so next up. So this was the 0th done.
we can also use semicolon also not to make it at a particular index value.
Where exactly?
Means in that line, yeah, L append value, and after that value we can use
Uh-huh.
semicolon.
After this value, like this.
No, there is
No,
an
no.
insert function for this.
Okay.
or appending in a specific index.
Yeah, there is a different function for that.
Okay, sir.
So zeroth loop done. So first loop size is now 3, and then next up we get the, what are we getting now? 3 minus
1,
2.
1,
L1.
1.
3 minus
L1.
2.
L1 is 1,
L2.
and then L2.
0.
Okay, L2 is 0.
0.
0.
So now it will add 2 to it. So now it becomes 2. Value becomes 2. Okay. So now it adds to it 2 to it. Everyone's okay with this? Next, go for the
Yes, sir.
next loop. This becomes 4. 4 minus 2. 2. Okay, so are we
0.
getting any pattern over here?
We
Which
are
elements are
adding
we
the last
adding?
two elements and multiplying by 2 and appending to the end
Yes.
of the list. We are
Okay.
doing it again and again 8 times.
Yes. Okay, so we are just getting the last two elements, and then we are appending it to the list. So we can skip all that, and then we can directly do it 8 times. Okay. So we have that 0, 2. So last two elements would be
14.
these two. How 14? Oh, at the you're getting the full
At the
answer.
end. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we say 14 over here. Let's go to the answer. So we have next up. These are the last two elements, right? And into 2. That'll be 4. And now I'll add 4 to it. Fine. Last two elements again. 2 and 4. 6 into 2. 12. Am I doing something wrong here? It's fine, right?
No.
Okay. 12. So how are we getting 14?
Oh, no.
Correct only, sir.
No, no. We are. Okay. So we are here 12. And now I'll add 12. Next up,
32.
32. Add 32. It's kind of like Fibonacci, but not exactly, because we are multiplying it by 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have 32. And then next up,
88.
88.
88. I'll have to calculate, so you guys please do it. Okay.
240.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping you said it right.
240.
240.
Sir, please update the value in range. I am not updating.
Sorry?
In range, I think I gonna.
Okay. Let's see. 0 was for this. 1 was for this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we are correct as of now.
So this means next iteration will be last.
Yes. 240, and then this plus this into 2.
416.
416. Okay, so this will be our final list. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this was the some error happened here. All right, so it doesn't matter, but almost right. The calculation part was wrong here at the last.
Oh, 240 add करना था.
Yeah. So what did we do here? 240 plus 416.
328 into 2
plus
plus
88
650.
times 2.
Okay, this would be 240.
And after that,
Oh no. Yeah, value will be 240, and then this will be
656.
656. Okay. Are you getting the flow how to solve these questions? Looping questions. go one by one, get the
Yes.
pattern, and
Yes,
then you
sir.
can.
Yes.
Because if you don't get the pattern, it will be very long process.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you explain this once again?
Okay. So first of all, just check what is happening. We have the for loop that is going from 0 to 7. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we have the size. Size is taking the size of L, the length of L.
The number of elements in L.
Yes, number of elements in L. And this particular value is taking the size minus 2. Size minus 2 means size is supposed 2. Then size minus 2
0.
is 0. Uh, in general, if we say it in general, we can say the second last element, size minus 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And size minus 1. So the last element.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So it is taking the second last and the last element and multiplying it by 2. So
So
every
every time the
iteration.
list is updated, like another,
Hmm.
like the new value is appended, we'll take that value and the value before that,
Yes,
and we'll
because
solve it like that.
yeah, because what happens when I append it to the list now changes. Okay, the list is
Yes,
now
sir.
a different list. So when I say size of L now for the next iteration, it will be a bigger list.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it will now become 3, 4, and so on. So just do it 8 times and then you'll get the answer.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, is everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a habit of saving, I don't know. Okay. So next up is a more theoretical question. When will this code throw an error? What can throw an error over here? Any answer?
Sir, if x the value x is not.
If all are false,
Hmm.
If all three are false, then it will throw error because
it
x
will
value.
not run.
Yes,
It will throw error.
it will throw an error basically. Okay, so this is the possible statement that can throw an error. Okay, is everyone clear with this? This is
Yes,
the
Yes,
sir.
only
sir.
possible thing that can create an error over here.
Sir,
Why?
if else we had else in any of the three blocks, then it will not give error, right?
Yes, it will not. Okay, why would this give me an error? When is this case that will gives me an error?
Name error.
Because x will be
Ah,
not defined now.
X, yeah. So if
If
you
we
try to
define
use
it,
it
if we
without
define
defining,
x any value
Sir, what
before,
if
then
we
it will
use
not throw an
elif?
error, right?
Sir, what if we use elif? Will it give error?
acha. So we'll go over that. First, is everyone clear with this? X will give an error because
X is not defined.
yes, X is not defined. And when will X not be defined? If all of these statements will be false. E1, E2, E3, E4. E1, E2, E3. All three will be false. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what happens if I have a elif over here? It will check if acha, first is what is the difference between multiple ifs and elif? If I compare this to elif,
If left chain means
hmm,
if the condition first condition is true, then we will then the function is not check for next chain, next
yes.
lf block.
So if any of when I say if elif, if the first statement is true, then it would not check the next statement, elif statement. Only if the first if is false, then only it will check the elif statement. Okay. So what happens with multiple ifs? It checks every statement regardless of the fact that if the previous one is true or false. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So even if you have elif over here, it doesn't matter because if this is false, this will check. If this is true, it will not check. But only if everything is false, then only it will cause an error.
So,
Yes.
In this particular code, this will also give error because E1, E2, and E3 are also not defined, right?
Yes. So they are assuming that E1, E2, E3 are defined. Don't I think?
Yes.
All right.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
sir,
Any
what
doubts?
is nested aggregation?
What is?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
What is nested aggregation?
I am
It
not
was
aware of
given
that.
in
He is asking for nested if
yeah,
block.
Nested aggregation. I have not heard of that term. Can
Sir,
yeah,
you?
nested if
nested
block.
aggregation.
Sir,
Nested aggregation is the
Nested.
same as nested if blocks.
he
Am
is
I getting
asking
that
for
right?
this.
What is the meaning of it? I didn't
No,
understand.
even I have not heard it. So someone is saying that
I
it is
think
this.
he's asking for if nested if block.
Kiran, can you please write it in chat
Is it
so
Yeah.
necessary?
we can?
No,
Yeah,
no, no. It's
okay.
not necessary.
I think
Even
he's asking for nested iteration
It's
or
not.
what?
Acha, can you Google search
It is
some examples and tell me? I can show that to you. So I don't know about the term. If you tell me what exactly that thing is, then I can show it to you. Okay.
it is not necessary. It's nested if only because for loops are also possible on nested
Oh,
for loops also.
nested iteration.
Yeah, I also think he's asking that.
So nested.
So it's regarding
Your
nested
voice
loops
is
only.
cutting, Kiran. Your voice is cutting.
Yeah, your voice is a little bit breaking. That's why we
Okay,
can't hear you
I will
properly.
just put in start box.
Okay, that'll be better. Okay, so till that, let's go over the next question.
Sir, how can we correct a code? Like make like
Hmm.
if a code is wrong and we need to make corrections,
Like
how do we do
debugging.
it? Debugging, yeah, debugging. Yeah.
You'll have to see. So in your portal, it is a little bit tough to actually debug because you don't get exact clear statements. But it would be better if you try to debug it in Colab or in your local environment. That would be better. So generally, you're talking about syntax errors or something else. Like logical errors, we can't correct it as such. You'll have to go
Yes,
through
sir.
each
Yeah,
everything.
syntax errors and
So syntax and everything, you can actually write your code in Colab, and then you'll get the errors over here. So suppose,
Maximum error in Python is for indentation.
yeah. So all these things, indentation also, it's actually hard.
So, what are
It's
the
hard to
different types of errors
recognize.
that
Yeah.
we
I
face?
mean, it is too
So
open-ended a question. Like, too open-ended. What
yeah.
do you mean by debugging? What debugging?
So
It
suppose
depends
if
upon the code.
suppose this L append I wrote over here. It's a logical error. I
Yes.
This is not what I wanted, but this is syntactically correct. Okay, so I can't actually directly debug it. You'll have to see what kind of. So some of the tips I can say is like try to log these things. So instead of printing at the last, you can print things on every iteration. So print things here. So see what is happening with L over here. You can see with every iteration how is L changing. So you can do that. One of the tips is that. And apart from that, mm, this is the most important thing. Try to print things and check where exactly things are going wrong. Okay, if you don't have any syntax error can be got easily. All right.
yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
So, any other doubts? All right. So,
Hello, sir, I have given that in the chat box. And
I am not aware of this statement. Can you Google search and give me an example of that? We can discuss that. All right. Anyone knows nested aggregation?
No,
Sir,
never
in
heard of
Google
it.
searches, it is not coming. Anything.
Okay. So, I'm not sure
sir,
then.
it is asked in the GRPFI of week 4, um, where the code is correct, but I didn't understood this statement in the question.
I have searched it and I've got this code. I've pasted in chat. Yeah, this code I've got.
We are getting a pandas code over here. Okay, so pandas comes much later on in your course.
Week 12.
Yeah.
This is week 12.
Okay, so let's not go over that right now. Let's keep the discussion to quiz one.
Sir, can you
Hmm.
paste the link of the notebook in the chat section after the
The
class?
which
Or
notebook?
when I...
This notebook.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will. And one more thing, we also keep a live session tracker kind of thing. Do you have access to that?
No.
You don't.
No.
Where we can do that? No?
I am not sure if it is shared or not, but we actually paste the notebooks and everything in that sheet so that you can access. I'll confirm and tell you.
It's there, sir. We
It's
all have it.
where is it? Can you tell your peers?
I can share.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So anything else? Mhm. Okay. So let's go over this question again. We have L is an empty list. All right. And we are ranging from this time from 1 to 10, 1 to 9. What will happen here? If length is 0, then value is I plus 1. Okay. If length is not 0, then value is I mod 2. What would I mod 2 give me? I could be odd or even. So I mod 2 will either give me 0 or 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then L dot append value. Okay, so pretty simple. We can go through it and then we'll check what final L we are getting. Okay. At the first iteration, what happens? I is
1.
1. I is 1.
Yeah.
So length of L
0.
0.
0.
0.
So value is I plus 1. I plus 1 is 2. Okay. Then else will not run since and we appended.
Yes, and the next iteration are just even or check.
Next iteration only. So since now my length, my L has changed to 1. So now this statement will never run because L will never be 0. So we don't have to care about this statement at all. We only need to care about this I mod 2. Okay. So what is I now? 2. So I mod 2 is
1.
I mod 2.
0.
Sorry, 0, 0,
2,
0.
2
0.
divided by 2 gives
Zero.
what is the remainder? 0.
0. Sorry.
So next up 3 and then it will be 1. Okay. Now only odd even, odd even.
First
Now
value will be 1.
101.
first value will be
1 in L.
this one.
Yeah.
No, it won't be because I was what was I at the first iteration?
It is 1.
I is 1 and value is
Sir,
I
it
plus
is
1.
for checking for 0. Oh, sorry.
No,
Length.
this
No,
statement
no,
says
it's
I
starting
plus 1.
from 1.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, so this I, this 2 was for this, 3 for this, 4 will get 0.
Repeats for 9 places.
So how many? 1, 0, 1, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 1 more. Okay, so once you get the pattern, it is pretty simple. Most questions most questions for looping, what you would see is like at the end you'll see certain kind of patterns over there. So it's easy to compute the final output.
Sir,
Yes,
am I audible?
yes, you are audible.
Sir, how can we move a code cell from one notebook to another?
How can you do what? One question from
How can we move one code cell from one notebook to another notebook without copy pasting?
one notebook. Why would you want to do that? like general question or some kind of thing you want. So this is Google. You're talking about Google Colab, is it?
Yeah, in Google Colab only.
You can save
You
it on
can
your device.
download. You can download from here. I don't know where is the
And
download
then
button. There is
start.
some download button over here. File and then save a copy something.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
save.
download
Where is
it.
download?
Download as
We can
IPNB and then upload it again.
we can download it. I want the specific code block, specific
So
code shall
why? What is the problem with
from
copy pasting it?
one.
Any particular reason you don't want to copy paste? That is the simplest one.
Um, because like I want to move multiple code cells one at a time.
Okay,
I thought it's possible.
I'm
I don't know.
not aware of that. So if you wanted the full thing, you could just download it and do that. But with multiple, not exactly sure how.
Code cells.
So will we discuss mock today?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
We have plenty of time. Okay, so this is fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So next up, we have a question about flags. Does anyone get confused with flags? I actually got very confused the first time when I was doing Python. What exactly are
During
flags?
CT, it was very confusing, sir.
Yeah.
Sitting about it.
I am used to.
Good
I
for
am
you.
from Java background.
Right. Okay. So in here, so flags are basically some kind of triggers like on and off switch. Depending on certain things, we print something or do something else of that sort. Okay. So in this case, we are saying flag 1, flag 2, both are true. And we are iterating from 1 to length of L. What is L? I don't know. Okay. L is here. What is the output if L is this particular list? Let me paste it here itself. Okay, so if L at I is greater than L at I minus 1, what does the statement tell me?
Value of
Previous one is greater
If
than
list is in decreasing
If
order.
my current one is
is
greater
And the
than,
before one.
yeah, my
previous one.
previous one. Okay,
It's an increasing order.
yes.
Decreasing.
Then flag 2 equal to false. Else if L at I is less than L at I minus 1, then flag 1 is false. All right. So then they are asking what will be the final output. So let's go over this list and then see. First, I will be 1. For I1, L at 1, is it greater than L at I minus 1?
No,
Is
sir.
this
False.
No,
statement
sir.
No,
greater
no, no.
than? So this will be false. No need to.
Flag one false.
This statement is false. So flag 1 is, oh yeah. So
That
flag
will
2
never
is,
execute.
yeah,
If in first iteration, it will not
it
execute.
will not
Yes.
execute. And this particular statement is correct, right? Flag at I is less than flag at I minus 1. Okay, so this flag 2
Flag
became
one.
false.
flag 1 will
Flag
become
one will
false.
become false.
Oh, sorry.
False. Sir.
Flag 1. This executed. So one thing to note over here is once flag becomes false, it can never become true, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
now we can be sure that flag 1 is false. In this question statement, we are not changing flag to true again anytime. So we can be sure flag 1 is false. Okay, so next we'll check if again. So basically we're iterating through each element and we are
Each
checking
parameter.
if my current one is greater than the previous one. So we can directly check without going through manually, right?
Yes, sir.
So is this greater than this? No, this was the first one. Is this greater than this? False. Okay, this is not greater than this.
Flag one
Current
still false.
false. Is this greater than this?
Flag two will be false.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this statement, flag 2 also executed.
So now both are false.
Now both are false, so I don't even need to check anymore, because since both are false, it will never change to true. Okay, so since both are false, what will print? If flag 1. If flag 1 means if flag 1 is true. So this is not true.
Not
The
execute.
statement does not execute. Else if flag 2. Flag 2 is also false, so this statement will also not execute.
It will print 3.
So at the
Print
end it
three.
will print 3. All right. So now we have 3. Okay, pretty cool. Everyone warmed up.
Yes, sir.
So I flashbanged you. I hope I hope your eyes are fine. Okay. Is this font size okay? I don't think I can zoom in much more.
Okay, sir.
This thing should have at one option, that is dark mode. No, it is
Yeah.
too much white.
Yes. Especially going
You
from
can
dark
use
background
it
to
an
light.
extension.
Sometimes it's too bright.
Yes. Okay. Right. So let's go over the mock questions. So we have again 3 strings over here. First row, second row, third row. Word, we are taking it as input. And for char in word, what happens when we say for something in a string? It goes over the characters of a
Each
string.
element of the word.
Yes. All right. So this char will become individual elements of this particular string, whatever string. So word is this word. What will be the output of this code for the following input? Brisk. So this is brisk. If char in first row is at the first iteration, it is okay. I can let me copy it. Okay, so we are checking if this char was brisk. Fine. First iteration, it will check is B in any of these in the first row. Are you aware of this in? In will check?
Yes, sir.
Membership operator.
Yes, it will check if this character is present in the particular string or not. Okay, so in this case, is it there? Is B in the first string?
No, sir.
No,
In
sir.
the third
Is
row.
not in the second row, so it is in the third row. So what will happen? It will print third row and third row dot index of char. What does this dot index do?
It prints
We'll
the
give the index
index.
of character in the word.
Yes. And what is the index of this character?
4.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
Okay,
5.
4. The
Okay.
index starts from 0. Okay,
Index
0,
starts
1,
from
2,
0.
3, 4.
Okay, sir.
So this got printed third and then something printed. Okay, let me write 5 only. Next up, we have R. Where is R? I highlighted so you can see.
First row.
First row. So this
Third,
got
third
printed
index.
and third index. Okay, now I. Again in the first
First
row.
row, 7th index.
Okay, you have calculated everything. Nice. Next up, S. Second
Second
row,
row,
first index.
first
first
index.
index. And then at the
K
last, we
is
have K.
second row, 7th.
7th, okay. So, not sure what. Okay, so third row 5 and then first row 3 7 1 7. 5 and then 3 7 1 7.
437.
It's 4 shy.
43717.
4 3
Second
7 1
option.
7.
Yeah, so you have to
Second.
look at this also, right? Third row and then this is first row. This is second row. All of these are first row. First row, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, no.
R and I are first row.
Okay, R and I and S. Okay, this
Yes,
was
yes,
second row.
row.
I mistook. Okay,
One
so
from third and 2 from first and second each.
A third also, then 5, 4.
Third, first,
so
then
this was correct, right? Third row 5, first row 4. No, not this one. Where did it go?
Sir, the second one.
Second
The
one.
Sir,
This
it's
one.
option B.
Okay. Third row 4, and then 3 7. Second row 1 7. All right. Is it this clear?
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope these things are not too difficult for you. The
No,
quizzes
sir.
also will not be if this all these things are clear. All right. So consider the following snippet. A, B, C are Boolean values. Boolean variables 0 0 0. All three store 0. Okay. If A. First, let's read the question. What is the output of the above code if all A, B, C are true? Okay, so if A is true, what will happen? This will go into
Increment
this.
the value of
A
A.
will increment of A, and then it will go to if block of B, and it will
If
again
block of B,
increment A, and
A,
B
And
will
then
be
it will again
incremented.
go to if block of
A
C.
equal to
It
3,
will
B equal to 2, C equal to 1.
right.
Total became 6.
Total became 6. Fine. Anyone
Yes.
else has any doubt? No. Okay. Is the following statement always true? Is the following statement true or false? The statement A greater than equal to B greater than equal to C will always evaluate to true. And this is independent of the values of A, B, and C. And how do we check this?
False, I guess.
We can create cases.
Okay, so the best, yeah, so the best method could be take
Yes, sir. It is will be true.
case.
It will be true.
It will be true.
Yes.
Okay, so let's think about it. I'm, I mean, so
So we can
if
make
A is
cases,
true,
right?
Let's take
It's
example. A
always
is equal
true.
to true, B is equal to false, and C is equal to true.
yeah, so you can do that, but logically, even if logically thinking that if it goes into A, it will always increment A. Okay. To get to B, we have to always increment A, right? So A will be always 1 greater than B.
No, sir. The thing is, they're asking it is independent of the value of ABC. So even if they are all false, then this also should hold true. So if the statement were only A is greater than B greater than C, then it would
Then
be
it will be
false.
false.
Yeah.
When they are equal, na? A
Since they are
equal
greater
to
than
Yeah,
B.
so there
equal,
is
so it
greater
will
than
be
equal.
true.
That's what, because of the equal, they are true.
Yes. Okay, is everyone clear with this?
No, sir.
Okay,
Then
so
again,
what you can do here is take 9 cases. So we have to check if A, B, C, all in any case, this particular statement is true or not. Whether A be true, false, B be true, false, C will be true, false. Whether any of that case, this particular statement will be true. Okay, we have to check that. And
You
how
can
do we?
use your compiler.
You don't get compilers in the sorry, in the exam.
No, sir. I am giving suggestions to him so that he can use a compiler and understand what is going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Python does not have compiler. It is an interpreted language.
Okay, fine. So let's go over this question. What happens? So if A is true, what happens
Compiler.
if? Okay, let's go over what happens when all three are false. When all three are false, is this particular statement true? A will
yes,
be
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
0,
sir.
B will be 0, C will
True.
be 0. All three are true. Okay. So one case we got rid of. When A and B are false, C is true.
All
What
values
happens?
will be 0.
Everything will
Nothing
still
will
be 0.
happen.
Yes.
Everything
Yeah.
will still be 0 because it will never go to this particular statement. It will check this and then it will go to the print statement. Okay. So even in that case, this is true. What happens if A is true? Oh, sorry. Let's go. What happens if A is false, B is true, C is true?
It
Then
will
also,
happen.
Then also 0.
yeah.
So that means we can skip over all the A parts. If A is false, then we can say that this particular statement is true. So now what we are left with, A true and B true, C true we already checked. That is
Yes.
correct. So that will be 1 2 3. Okay, 3 2 1. 3 2 1. And next statement remaining was A is true, B is false, and C is true. So if A is true, A will be +1, and it will skip over this. It will, since this B is false, it will skip over it. So only A becomes 1.
Yeah, got
So
it.
A becomes 1, B becomes 0, C becomes 1. So this is always true. All right. Any other doubt about this?
No, sir.
Okay. So the statement is always true.
So can you explain when all of them will be equal, then what will happen?
Nothing will happen. All will be equal. When A is false, then all will be equal.
Oh, okay,
We are
sir.
just checking for all the conditions of this capital A, B, and C. Is this statement holding true? That's what we are checking.
Okay, sir.
All right. So next up, we wish to find the number of occurrences of digit 1 in the string word. Digit 1 in the string 1, and store it in a variable called count. Select all correct code snippets that achieve this. So first we'll have to look at this word string and check if 1 is there or not. How many ones are there? We will count it. Okay. One thing to note here, the string word. Word is a string. All right.
Yes, sir.
So when we have count is there for char in word. So it will iterate through all the elements of the word. If char
Yeah.
equal to what? Okay, this is the trick
False.
over here.
It
It's an
will
Equal to
integer.
convert one into
1.
string.
It is a string. This is false.
Yeah, this one is a integer. It's not a
Integer.
string. So when we write char equal to word, since char is a string, okay, char in word, so char is individual elements of a string. So that itself is a string. String cannot be equal to the integer word. Okay, so this statement will always be false. So it does not
Yeah.
count the number of ones in the string. Is everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Data types matter. Okay. So next up, we have the same statement. Instead of the integer one, we have the string one.
String one.
This
True.
Okay.
is correct.
So this will actually see the actual string is equal to the string one. All right. So this will count it properly.
Yes,
This is
sir.
correct. And next up, we're doing the same thing. Instead of writing in quotes the string,
We're
we are
converting into a
converting
string.
it, the integer, into a string. So even that
This
is
will
fine.
also work.
Yeah,
This
This
will
this
will
is
also
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 work.
work.
fine. Okay, so in this case, we are writing the count as 1 at the start.
Yes.
So it's a
This will
problem.
This will not.
Initially,
Yes,
No.
no,
sir.
this will
So
not.
one
Initially
extra
taking
count will
one.
be
Yeah, it
there.
will count
Yeah.
1
Yes.
extra. That is also false. Okay.
Sir, I have a
Hmm?
doubt in that, when we say na for character char in word.
Hmm?
So uh, I have did a question in which it says like a list of names. You have given a list of names.
Hmm?
So if for iteration, what it does what for names in list. Is it true? We can give any name for that.
This can
Assume
be,
that.
yeah, this can be any name. Okay. And what this gets depends on the data type of which we are iterating. Okay. This can be anything. I can write for X in word or for ABC in word. Doesn't matter. And
Except for keywords.
yeah, you can't write keywords. Okay. Thanks for telling that.
Uh,
We have, what matters here is the data type of this iterable. We call it iterable. Okay, so here when we write a string, we get individual elements. What happens if there is a list over here? What do we get?
Every
Suppose,
we get
element of
that
a string.
element. Yeah.
First element,
okay, so we have
each element.
li equal to, all right. So if I write for x, I can write any variable name over here in li. You have to check what is this data type of this li. What is the data type here? It's a list,
Yes.
right? So if I
Yeah, string list.
print x over here, it will take elements, individual elements of the list, not the characters of the string, since this particular thing is a list. Okay, so you can see hello in Python. And what I can do to get the characters of each individual? Yes,
Index is
Another loop.
yes, I
Nested.
can do for y.
Char in
Print
X. Yeah.
x. X is now my, x is this whole thing. Okay, x is this whole thing. So to get individual characters, I can go like this for y in x. Print y. So now it will print individual characters. All right, everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir,
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
sir, if in the second line, if we say x is equal to 3, will it give error? So, in the for loop, it is updating its values, right?
Yes.
The values in x value. So if we put x is equal to 3 in line 2, will it give error?
I write to write x equal to 3 over here.
In the second line, not after for not inside for loop.
Like write this.
After the list initialization.
Okay. In here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, it won't give you error. It is creating a different variable which is only valid inside it. Okay, only valid this x, this particular x is only valid inside the for loop. So if I write x over here, print x over here, what will happen? It will print the x that was in the global space. So this x is only available inside the loop.
Okay, the
Okay.
scope
So if I print
But sir,
this,
we should always avoid doing this, right?
yes, you should be avoiding doing this. But what happens? What happens if I don't write x over here and try to print x over here? What happens?
X will not be declared.
Yes. No, no, no. X. Okay, so actually x is getting the last value. So even I'm mistaken about this. Sorry for that confusion. So x is taking the last value of Python.
So basically, the scope is also global for X.
Yes, it is making a global scope, but so since this is yeah, so basically that is replacing your x that was there. So x equal to 2
This
or
might not
3.
work in every
This is a
terminal.
feature of Python.
Uh,
In C++, this will give an error.
yes.
Yeah, that's why I was mistaken, because in other languages it was only available inside the for loop. Okay, so new thing for me as well. So x will take the, so it creates a new variable inside this loop, and it's even accessible after after the loop is over. Okay, is it fine?
don't we get the any problem if we declare x after the
No,
loop? So,
no. After that, after the fact that you have completed your use of this x, then you can change it. It doesn't matter. You can change it to anything. All right. Okay, so should we move on to the next question?
yes, sir.
Right. What is the output of the following code snippet? This is not so hard after all. It is not. Okay. So count equal to 0 for char in word. Word is a string. For char means individual elements of the string. If x, so if x is in between the capital A and capital Z, and char in this capital list of capital,
Basically, we are
yes,
checking
Should
the
be a
capital
vowel.
letters and vowel, capital
vowels.
vowels.
Okay.
Should be a capital vowel.
So
Capital
this,
vowels, huh?
yeah, so this checks if it
There
is
is
the
four.
capital
There are
letters or
four.
not, and this checks if this
Four.
character
Yes.
is in this list of capital vowels. Okay, so let's see. First we have I is there, 1.
O.
O is there. 2,
AE.
3, 4.
4 only.
Okay, 4.
4.
4, 4 now. Any doubt?
No,
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 sir.
sir.
Okay. So I think quiz 1 will be very easy for you.
If the questions like these come.
we'll
Can
see.
we expect the same pattern in quiz?
Pattern is mostly the same. Questions will be different, of course. Assume the, yeah, so if n is a positive integer, what is the output of the following code? Assume the natural numbers start from 1, that is 0 is not a natural number. Okay, what is the output of the following code? N is a positive integer. So it will be sum of, so let's see what this is giving us. That's what they're asking, right? What is the final, what is the output of the following? Okay, so what is it? Sum of first n natural numbers or the product of first n natural numbers and so on. Okay, so first to check this, we need to figure out what we are getting. Okay, I'll copy it in collab. All right. So n might be anything. Suppose n is 10. So for I in range 1 to n plus 1. So it will range from where?
1 to 10.
1 to
1
11.
to 10.
11.
11.
10.
11 will
No,
not be
I'm saying
included.
the values of I. What is the values of I?
1 to 10.
Why?
1
1
to
to 10.
10.
1 to 10. Everyone's fine with this because
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
this will be
Yes, sir.
excluded. The last, when we give the range, this particular value is excluded. Okay, so
I
I will
will be
be
1 to
1 to
9.
10.
1 to 10 or 1 to
Yes.
9?
10,
So
10.
10 plus 1, we are going.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
So
do we assume n is declared?
yeah, sorry. Can you repeat yourself?
Do we assume n is defined?
Yes. No, we don't have to define. See, what they're asking here
Take a
is
smaller
in a
number.
general statement. Yeah.
Yes,
What does
I
it
am
give?
also doing taking a smaller
Okay, okay.
number.
Okay, so yeah, no, we won't go through everything. We'll just stop at a certain point.
Okay.
What is this? So b is equals to 1 for j in range 1 to I plus 1. So I where we are getting from the previous loop, this loop. Okay, so we are going from 1 to, in the first iteration, let's go from 1 to 1.
1.
1.
Okay, so 1 to 1 means it only
So
gives 1.
one time.
Okay, I only becomes 1.
Yes.
B is equals to b into j. So 1 into
1.
what is j? 1. Okay. No, sorry. 1 into
No,
1.
it will take 0, right? It will also take 0.
No, it starts
Your
from
value
1.
of
No,
C.
what is the value of
So,
j here?
J is ranging from 1 to I plus 1, which so J will be 1,
0 is
not
For
not
the
0.
declared.
first iteration, it will be. How are you getting 0 over here?
In both the irritation, it is starting from 1.
Yeah.
hmm, okay.
Okay.
It's one loop taking value as 1.
Yeah. The first we are talking just about the first iteration right now. So b becomes 1 into 1.
1.
A becomes a plus b. So that is
1.
1. Okay. Next up, we already did 1 here. Let's do 2. So you're seeing here b always gets reset to 1. So even if you change b over here, it does not matter. For the next iteration, for the next iteration of I, b always becomes 1. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next up, j will range from 1. So j will be 1 and 2. Okay. Is this clear? 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since j will be 1 and 2, b will be b is equals to b into j.
2.
Right now 1 into 2
1
and
into 2.
yeah. So in next when
Sir, it
j
will
is
be
2,
1 into 1,
Exactly,
na?
1 into 1 only. I
1
mean,
into
Yes,
it will
one.
only
first
Just
get
1 into
1.
2.
1
1 into 1.
1 into 2. Okay, these two for the iteration number 2. Okay, right now at the end, this is just adding a, yeah. So with that, so 1 into
Okay,
1,
eventually
1
B
into,
will be 2.
okay. So it is now adding, what is that? It adding 2.
2, 2, 2.
Okay. So 1 and 2 we did. So now it will be 1, 2, 3. Is this fine? For 3, it will be 1, 2, 3.
Yes, sir.
And B will be 1 into 1. Next iteration 1 into 2. Next iteration 2
1 and
into
2 into 3.
2
2
into
into
3. Okay. So B, and at the end we will add
adding 6.
plus
6.
6 to
6. So are we getting a pattern over here? What
Yes, sir.
we are doing over here?
Factorial.
This is
Sum
Factorials.
of
factorial B.
Okay. So can we write this particular statement as 1 into 2, so 1 into 2 into 3? Is this doing this particular thing?
yes, sir.
Okay, so even if you're not feeling it right now, we'll go over one more. So I hope everyone will understand. This will be 4 over here. And in this case, j will range from 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so what we are doing here, b is equals to b into j. So 1 into 2. Now b is 1 into 2. And then 2 into 3. Then 3 into 4. Sorry, this multiplication
6
into
into
6
4.
into 4.
6.
6 into 4. And then,
So inner loop calculates the
yes,
factorial. Outer loops sums all the values.
yes, 24 into 5. Okay. So at the end, what are we getting? We are getting the multiplication of all the values. What is the final value of b for one iteration of I? It is the multiplication of all the values from 1
To
to
J.
I. Okay, yeah, to I.
Yeah.
So you can consolidate it and write it like 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Okay, so this is basically the factorial.
Sir, it will till 4 now.
Is it? Yeah, till 4. Okay, so basically this is the factorial, right?
We are
Uh,
summing the factorial.
Summing up the
And
factorial.
and A is summing up all these different factorials. So
Yes,
at
sir.
the end, what we are getting is the sum of factorials from where?
From 1 to n.
From 1 to
From
n.
1 to
From 1
n.
to n. Because since this is going from 1 to n, we are summing it from 1 to n. Is this okay?
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubts about
Yes,
this?
sir.
Not
Yes, sir.
Okay. So sum of factorial of first n natural numbers. Okay. Yes. So next up, we have a comprehension type. In the following code block, b is an integer that has already been defined. So assume b is already there. It will not cause an error. Next, we have a little bit of code. Let's read the question first. The code block runs without throwing any error and terminates after accepting 10 inputs. Okay, this should be important, 10 inputs, all of which are integers from the user. Assume that all the questions that follow are independent of each other. Okay,
So here I already have a question.
yes.
Isn't the value of B is independent of the rest of the code? It's not used anywhere and we are inputting it from outside. And the values in the questions you'll see they are very big. So I don't understand the code. Please explain it like very.
No, you don't
So
understand the code, is it?
Yeah,
Or
there
the
yes,
is.
question?
It feels like no, the questions are still fine, but it feels like the half elif part of the code is not
Yes.
relating to the previous part of the code.
Okay.
Because see, it writes x is less than 10, right? That means it will take less than 10 values as an integer.
If the input is less than 10, then it won't do anything. it will continue to accept the input and
Until you put 10 or a value above 10.
Yeah, exactly. But the
yeah.
b's value are very big. I don't understand like the point of the
So if
code.
you substitute b there, what will you get? The x should be between 200 to 202. So the x should be, if if x is equal to 201, then only it will break. So the last 10th input should have been 201. We can clarify that.
Okay, yeah. So basically that is it. So it says without throwing an error and terminates after accepting 10 inputs. So this is part of the question. Okay, so all of it, sorry, all of which are integers from the user. Assume that all the questions that follow are independent of each other. Okay, so let's go over it. If b is equal to 200, which of the following could have been the 10 inputs entered by the user? So they are saying,
1 and 7. So you see the answer,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Okay, got it.
Why not 40?
So they are saying that the code runs without any error and terminates after accepting 10 inputs. Okay, 10 inputs means here we are inputting, right? So after
Yes.
10 inputs, this code will terminate. How will the code terminate? Using the
Because
break statement.
Like if b is equals to
Hmm.
200, then it will break when x is 201, right?
First of all, is it clear that code will only terminate when it reaches the break statement, because we are writing it in while true. While true will keep on looping unless we reach a break.
Okay,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Okay. So this will only terminate when we reach this break statement. And when do we reach this break statement?
When x
When
will
we
be
have,
201.
when x is in between b and b plus 2. So what is b?
So
B. Hmm.
here our B, like our input will be 201, the 11th input.
No.
10th input should be 201.
So which of the following has one of the inputs of the 10 input?
Okay, right. 10th input should be
10th
201.
input
Fine.
should be
Yes, yes.
201.
Yeah.
Okay. So is everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you explain it once again?
Okay. So the thing is, they are saying the question is a little bit tough to understand at first. You'll have to read it 2-3 times. So they are saying the code terminates after 10 inputs. So this code terminates after 10 inputs. Since we have that input, since we know that it terminates after accepting 10 inputs, that means on the 10th input, the user, okay, what? Yeah, so after 10th input, x should be such that it becomes true in this elif statement, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the 10th input, what it means that x has to be in between b and b plus 2. So what is b? B is 200 and b plus 2 is 202.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so it should be in between. So let's see which of the following could have been one of the 10 input entered by the user.
For my one doubt, sir.
Hmm.
If I put 40 inside this code as a value for x,
Hmm.
this while loop turns into an infinite loop. Why does it so, sir?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes, this
if you
is
write 40,
for
what will
200
happen?
only.
This if statement will
It will
execute.
not accept.
Not
No, it
accept.
will not execute. No, sir.
Yeah, this will not execute. So
Okay.
also elif
But the
also will
loop will
not
keep
execute.
going on. It will
So
not
leaf will
break.
Okay.
So
keep
it's an
going.
indefinite loop.
Yes. So our x has to be in between 0 and 10.
Okay.
So it has to be less than 10. Anything below 10.
Yes.
But sir, if it will be less than 10, then how you will achieve that line 6?
No. When it comes to inputting, then it has to be less than the last input. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I see the point. So when you input something, it will continue. If x, okay, if it is less than 10, then the only option is going to elif. It can be x can be more than 10, but it
But
will
then it
only
will,
go into this input
It
statement
will
only when
happen
it is less than
only
10.
in the last time,
Yes,
na?
it will
10th
only
time.
happen in the 10th input. Okay, because in
Why,
previous
sir?
inputs, see what is happening here. If what if you write 11 over here?
Yes, then it is giving
If we
error.
go to elif, if we
Elif,
go to elif,
it
it
will
will
go to
not
elif, it will
satisfy.
not satisfy, and then
It
it
won't
will
break.
never go back to the
Yeah.
input, because 10 is x is greater than 10, right?
That
Yes.
It
will
will
cause an
become an
error.
infinite loop.
Yeah.
So that means at the last statement, at the 10th input, the user inputs such a value that it
Satisfies the sixth
is
line.
satisfy this else if condition. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that is the thing. There are a lot of assumptions in this question that we need to assume and then do it. You can't put any value.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. That's why they are asking you which are the possible values, which could
One
sir,
have
and
what
been one
does
of
seven.
the
the
10.
continuous statement mean?
What?
The continuous statement, like in the fifth
Continue
line.
means it will skip everything else. After when it reaches the continuous statement, it will skip all the statements inside the loop and it will continue the next iteration. So after this, the elif statement won't be checked. The break statement will not execute. It will go to the next iteration.
So, sir, the 10th input will be 201 and first 9 inputs will be less than 10. So 1 and 7 could be possible.
Okay, 201 is also not required. The 10th input, yeah. So one b is equal to which of the following could have been one of the 10 inputs entered by the user. Okay, so what could it be?
1 and 7.
One
One and
could be
One,
there. Okay, seven could be there. Could
Uh,
200 be?
no, no, no.
No,
If we
sir.
enter 200, it will go infinitely.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Same with 40. Like
Yes.
anything
And
above
same with
10.
40. Yes, a user. I
Okay.
see that only 10 inputs can be yeah entered.
Yes. So one thing is it should be less than 10. All these input should be less than 10. So what at the end what we are getting? What we concluded that all the inputs should be less than 10 apart from the last input that has to be in between this b and b plus 2. Okay, that is what we concluded. Out of the 10 inputs, the 9 inputs, the previous 9 inputs should be less than 10 and the last input should be in between b and b plus 2. Otherwise this code will break or it will continue go into the infinite loop. All right.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So 1 and 7,
Interesting question.
this will have infinite loop, infinite loop. Okay, if b is equal to 100, what is the maximum possible value that the user could have entered among the first 9 inputs?
9.
9.
9.
9.
If I write 10 over here, then it will go to this will not check this, and then it will go to the elif. Elif will also not break, so it will keep on going to have the infinite loop. Okay,
We
is this
can
clear?
also write 0.
No, they are asked. Yeah, you can write any
Yeah, we
value
can
less
write
than 10.
0. Yeah, 0 we can write.
Any value less than 10 will again ask for an input. But if you write
Yes,
something that is greater than 10, it will not, greater than or 10 or greater than 10, it will not ask for an input again.
It will go to infinite loop.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the value of b
could be
if
a
the
negative number also.
yeah,
Sir,
sorry.
sir, that maximum
X
value
could
could
also
be
be negative
101.
number. Right?
Okay, okay, one at a time. Can who is speaking first? Yeah, yeah, go ahead, ask.
Sir, the maximum value should be 101 now.
No, they are asking among the first
First
9
9.
inputs, not the
Okay.
final input. 10th input has to be that 101. Okay,
But
101 or 2.
if I don't want to give that 10 inputs, is it necessary to give that all 10 inputs?
No, they have said in the question strictly that the code runs without any errors and terminates after accepting 10 inputs. So they are saying that the user enters those 10 inputs, and after the 10th input, the program terminates.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, so it is in the first 9, among the first 9 inputs. The maximum value that I can put is 9. Only if I put 9, I mean, only if I put any value less than 10, then only it will go to the 10th iteration. If I put any value, like any random value, which is not between b, it will end up in an infinite loop. Okay. Next up, what is the value of b if the final input entered was 100?
99.
99.
Okay, so b has to be, so this to exit, to break out of the loop, this x has to be in between b and b plus 2. So that means it has to be less. So b should be 99, this should be 100, this should be 101. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So 99. All right. Next up, again, comprehension type. We have a list L, and S is something that I don't know as of now. While L, length of L is greater than 2. So this will continue till the list, the length of the list is greater than 2.
Greater
At
than or equal to?
or greater than equal to. So when the length of list is equal to 1, then it will break. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
So,
yeah.
so S is assigned an integer value. Right? How can we append
No, we are not appending the list. We are taking values from the list and adding it up and appending it to the integer value. These are values. These are not element. So these are elements from the list. This is not the whole list.
So okay, we are adding.
Yes. So
Okay.
In the line 5, we are adding the first and the last element.
so in the line, this one, we are adding the first and the last element to S. Okay, so
Yes.
this and this. And line number 6, what is happening?
Removing the first
L.
element and the last
Removing
element.
the first element, and the second one is removing
Okay,
the
removing
last
the
element.
first element. After removing the first element, L now becomes this particular list. Okay, everyone clear with
Yes, sir.
this? After removing the last element, L becomes this particular list.
So can we write 6 and 7 in one line?
Yeah, sure. Definitely you can do that.
You can just add
Slice
it,
it.
right? L1, 1 plus. Yeah,
Yeah, you
Only
can
slice it.
column
slice
by
this
column.
L from 1 to -1.
Yeah, okay.
Done. That is it. Okay, you can do that. So they're asking, will the code run without an error? Right now we saw it ran, but
Yes, sir.
what could cause an error? What could cause an error?
When L is less than 2,
Which line over here can cause an error?
It won't cause an error, it just won't return anything.
I mean, like, could cause an error. If
4, line 4.
if
The indices is not available.
yeah, so line number 5. If L is empty, if I try to access L at 0 or L at -1, this will give me an error.
But the
Apart
list
from
is given.
But yeah, length
no,
of
I'm
L
just
should
saying
be.
ki what could possibly cause an error.
Okay.
Okay. So this the only statement here that could possibly cause an error, right? Length of L, even if it's empty, it will give me 0. This will not cause an error. This checking will not cause an error. L at L colon strip. This is also not cause an error, even if the list is empty. Even this will not cause an error. Only possible error statement is this. Okay, so we'll have to check when will it cause an error. It will cause an error.
So if the length of the list is odd, then it will in
Yes,
the
yes,
last.
yes.
No, it will only cause an error when the list is empty, right?
Yes, sir. You are
Okay.
correct.
Hmm.
Okay, 0 also gives the first zeroth index, the first element.
Okay,
If
okay.
length is
Yes.
1, and L at minus 1 will also give
Yes.
0th
Yeah.
index.
Correct, correct.
Okay, so what will happen? So since we are breaking this loop, we are not continuing. When what till what point are we continuing? Till the length of L is 1.
Less than 2.
Yeah, so less than 2. So at the point when the length of L is 1, we'll break this loop. So this will not cause an error since we are not going to the point when length of L is 0. All right, we are going only up till the point till length of L is 2. So even L of 1 will not run, L of 0 will not run. The length of L, 0 will not run. Okay, so this will definitely not cause any error. Will this code run without any error? Definitely a yes. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So first think of what could cause an error. If that does not cause an error, then it's fine. Okay, what
Sir,
is
will
Huh.
only changing something in the fifth line cause an error, or can there be any other lines which can cause errors if we
right?
change?
Right now, there is no other line that we can do that will cause an error.
In line 4, instead of 2, if we give 0 means it will cause error.
Yeah,
So if line 4 condition is violated, then it will cause error at line 5, right?
right. Okay, so what is the value of S at the end of execution of the given code?
It would be
55.
So
55.
yeah,
55.
redefine
55.
this plus this plus this plus this plus.
11 into 5.
5 times 11.
Okay, so what is it? 55.
Yes.
55.
55.
Okay. Any doubt about this? This I skipped over very fast because we already discussed what is happening. Everyone's clear, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the value of L at the end of execution of the given code above?
Empty set.
Empty list.
Empty
Empty list.
list.
if the number of elements
How?
in the list would be odd, then it will give some integer. But since the number are even in number, so it terminates to 1 by 1. So there will be no elements left in that list.
Mhm.
Since there are
If the
even
odd,
pairs, odd
What
pairs,
are we checking here? Length of L is greater than equal to 2. So we are stopping at the
Uh,
length 2, right?
no
No,
sir,
sir, but
But
the
when it
entire loop
Okay,
comes
will
okay,
to
okay,
run.
2,
okay.
we will remove the
At
first
2
and
we are
last.
yeah, we are removing the first and last. Okay, fine. I got this wrong. So at 2 we are checking, and then if it is less than 2, then we are not going over it. Okay, so at the end this list is empty. Is everyone clear?
yes sir.
Yes.
yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So let's move on. What will be the output of the following code snippet? Okay, so they have given you a hint. We have p equal to a particular string, q equal to another string, and then we are saying p dot split. P split is equal to p dot split, and we have given a delimiter that will be used to split the string. So what does
In
split
What
do?
is the name of it, sir?
that P split and Q split will
Delimiter.
be a list of all the words. This is a chair will be saved
Okay,
as a
yeah,
list.
as a list. Okay, that was what I wanted. So
Sir.
those who don't know this dot split, what does it do? It takes in a string, and whatever you have given this is called a delimiter. It will break it at that point. Okay, so this becomes one element. Statement becomes one element. Is becomes one element, and true becomes one element. Okay, so it breaks at that point where whatever the string you have given is. All right, is this fine?
So,
Yes, sir.
so Split converts string into list,
Into
and
list,
join
correct.
converts list
List
into
into
strings.
uh,
Strings.
yeah, correct.
Can we convert set to a string?
Set to a string. So even if
No,
you don't
set.
directly can't do it, you can do the list conversion of set and then
Okay.
make it a string.
And then, okay.
Pretty simple, right? You can
Yeah,
just have a list brackets.
sure.
Okay. So if you directly do str of set, it gives something little different. It gives the commas as well. So you should not do that. Convert it into a list
Okay.
and then use the join method. Okay. So this gives you a list, and these will be the individual elements. Next up, R is a empty list. So now it says for word in psplit. Psplit is a list again. So it is very important what data type it is. Psplit is a list. So since we are typing for something in a list, the words will be the
Element of the,
elements of the list.
yes.
So elements of the list. And now we're checking if word not in qsplit. So at the end, what are we doing? We are
We
taking
are
a
check.
word from p split and
Which are
checking
not in
if
queue.
this is not in q.
Yes.
Okay.
P
So
minus Q.
is this in q?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Common.
this will not execute. Is
Yes, sir.
q?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this all else not a is not there.
No,
No.
sir.
It
So
will
now,
execute.
yeah,
A
so
will
this will
execute.
So we are
execute.
removing
A
the
will be
common
appended.
elements from both the lists.
Yes, yeah. So at the end, you can say we are removing the common elements, and then
No.
no, not common elements.
Not from
We are
Exactly,
both
only
elements.
from P.
appending
So it
Like
is,
P
all.
minus
yeah,
Q.
P minus Q. Set
So
P
we
minus Q.
write the
It's more like that.
elements in P.
Yeah. So we have A and share. That's it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So again, a matrix question. Matrix, be very familiar with it because at least one question comes with matrices. We have let M into M matrix of numbers that has already been defined and populated. We wish to find the sum of elements in each column and store all such column sums in a list called colsum. So all the columns should be in a list called colsum. Columns are indexed from 0 to m minus 1. This is normal. Jth column is column J. This should be the sum of elements from that column. Okay, is this statement fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyone has any doubt about the statement?
Yes, sir.
Clear, right? Okay. So this call sum at J should be the sum of the jth column. Okay, so what are we doing? This call sum is a list, and we are taking m as the length of L. So length of L will give you what? The length of rows.
Order of matrix.
M.
We are considering square matrix.
Yeah, we are considering square matrix. That is fine. But if it was not a square matrix, suppose general
Number of row.
matrix,
Mm,
yeah.
Rows.
So
Number of
you will
rows.
get the number of rows of the matrix. Okay, right now it's a square matrix, so it does not matter. The row and call both are 0 and 0 right now. Okay. While call is less than m, while this call, yeah, this one is less than m, we are saying call sum dot append 0. So we are appending 0 to this call sum. While row is less than m, we are saying call sum at call. Okay, call sum at call. What is call right now? Call is
0.
0.
Zero.
Zero.
Okay. Call is 0, and call sum at 0 we are appending what? L at row call. So row is 0, call is 0. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
next iteration what will happen? We will append row at 1, call at 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
That
Column
is
should
fine.
also
Keeping the
increase.
column fixed and
We are keeping
iterating
the
through the
call
rows.
fixed and appending it. Next iteration, what will happen? Same thing.
But
Until, yeah,
in this piece
until
of
what?
code,
Hmm.
we are
Last row.
incrementing the well. Oh, sorry, sir.
Here column is not getting
We are,
incremented.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we, or for the first iteration, everything is fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what happens when we get out of this row less than m?
Infinite loop.
We again go to call call less than m. Call did not get incremented at all. Call is still 0. Okay, so call is still 0, call less than m, so it will again do that. Call append 0, call sum will append 0, and then it will add everything to the 0th row. So it will basically
Is
make a infinite loop because we are
infinite
not
loop.
It will keep
incrementing
adding the
call.
zeroth row,
Yes, we
zeroth
are.
column.
Yes. Okay. Is everyone okay with this? This is wrong,
Yes, yes,
not
sir.
the correct answer. We will get an infinite loop over here. So we would need to do something similar. Only the thing is the call should be incremented, not here, somewhere outside. Okay. So next up we have again call sum m row call while call less than m call sum dot append 0. Okay, the first element we appended 0 and then while row less than m. So call sum at call. So at the start it will 0, L at 0 and call. Okay, L at 0. So we are keeping the column same. We are changing the row with each iteration of this while loop and we are adding it to the call. Okay.
Here I have a doubt, but row should again be reassigned as zero, shouldn't it?
Yes, the
Yes.
next option is that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in here we are doing the same thing and we are incrementing call as well. Okay. But now what happens? In the next iteration we have call at 2, call sum at 2. That is fine. While row less than m. So what will happen at this particular statement? Did we change row? Row is still what?
No, sir.
Row is still whatever we came at. Suppose it was 3 by 3. Row is still 3. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it will not execute this particular statement. So call will again go forward. So in this case, what will happen? The first column, the first element in the column will be correct. Otherwise, everything else will be zeros. Okay.
Well, how, sir?
So it will column is still appended. It will not go into this while loop, but it will still append this. After it will check this. This will be false. So it will go call plus 1. It will append 0 again. Call plus 1 until it reaches call is greater than m. Okay, when call equal to m, it will exit out of the this while loop also. The first element will be fine. Everything else will be 0. All right.
Yes, sir.
So next up, same thing, same thing, same thing. Okay. In here, what you are doing, row equal to 0 here. We are saying, okay, row becomes 0 again when we go back to the column. Okay, so now call sum while row less than m, call sum at call plus equal to L at row column, row increment, call increment, and then row becomes 0 again. So since row became 0 again, this check while row less than m, okay, this particular check, row becomes 0 less than suppose 3, and then it will again go from 0, 1, 2. So it will append all the elements of that particular column. All right. So this works fine.
Yes, sir.
What is line 6 doing?
Okay, line 6 doing, what is this doing? Any answers?
We are appending each column element.
So we are, when we say call sum at call here, at this line number 8, when we say call sum at call, if we don't have anything, if this was an empty element, empty list, call sum was an empty list, what would happen?
It will give an
Error.
error.
Won't
It will
add.
give you an error.
Error, yeah.
That's why first we are adding a element so that there is at least one element to which what we are adding.
We are
So
like
We can't
initializing.
append any elements in an empty list.
no, we can append it. We can't
We can
directly
append,
access it.
but
This
we
is
can
accessing it.
directly add.
This is
Okay,
accessing
right.
it. This is appending it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
This is just an initial push we are
Yeah.
giving to the code.
So this is creating that element to which we are plus equal to. We are using plus equal to it. So we are also at call. All right. This is fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
sir.
Next up, we have call sum m and j in range m. Okay, j in range m. So that means it will again. So suppose 3 by 3 matrix. So 0, 1, 2. J goes from 0, 1, 2. Val equal to 0. For I in range m, again 0, 1, 2. Val equal to val plus L at I J I. What is J?
Here we are keeping the row constant and going through the columns. That is
So
the wrong way.
yeah,
We are
so we are
calculating the row sum in here.
so J is so the first one is the row. Okay, second is the column. So we are changing second we are changing, right? We're
The
keeping the
first
columns.
is
We're keeping the okay, yeah. So this is the row, this is the column. So we are
We need to
changing.
keep changing row.
No, this is
Yes,
fine. This
we
is
need
fine.
to keep changing row.
No, sir, for column sum, we need to change the rows and
Okay,
keep
right,
the
right, right. Okay.
column fixed.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so this one, what are we doing? We are changing the I. I is the column.
Column.
So we need to keep the column constant and change the row. So to add all the elements from the particular column. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So since we are
So I
changing the
j
row,
should
it
be
is actually adding all the elements from the row, from one constant row.
Sir, how
row.
do you know I is row and J is column? Or
The position here matters, right? So the first index gives the row of the matrix.
oh,
L
got it.
at J is the row. This particular one is the column. So the position matters when I say L at J. Okay, let me go through that. Matrix equal to something. Okay, so it's a list of list. Matrix is a list of list. So 1, 2, 3. Suppose something is like this. 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. So what happens when you say matrix at 0? What does this give me?
the first
First
row.
element of
First row.
matrix.
First row.
First.
Okay,
One, two, three,
think of
first.
it as a as a row.
Matrix.
Okay, matrix. Think of it as like this. So what will this give me? This will give me the row. Okay.
First row.
So this defines the row of the matrix. And if I say row and then give another bracket, 3, not 3, 2. So this gives me the column.
3.
Okay, so this
First
is
row
the
of the
row
column.
number and this
First.
gives me the column number.
Okay.
So the position here matters. So, row, column. All right.
If we print, then we will get the element 2, right?
3.
This
Three.
one.
No, 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 3. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
3.
So just be careful. The first bracket that you give is for the row number.
And the
Second one
second
is
one is
for
for
the
the element in that row.
yeah in that
Yes.
particular row. So next up, we are doing the exact same thing. Just what we are doing, instead of changing the what are we changing? We are changing the I. Instead of changing the column, we are changing the row. So we are keeping the column constant over here. We are keeping the column J constant, and we are changing the row. So it's getting the proper sum of the column, and then we are appending val to it. So this is fine. Is it
Yes.
okay?
Yes, sir. And in the
Yes,
previous
sir.
one, we are summing up the rows, right? That is why
Row
it
sum.
is wrong.
Yeah. All right. Any doubts?
So, can you show how we can write matrices in Python, like the code? There are different ways of writing them, right?
The normal method that you will be following in quizzes is this particular. Apart apart from that, the normal way is to use numpys to do it. But
No,
that will
using
be
NumPy makes it very simple.
yes.
But no, but when we are writing it in code right now,
Hmm.
like how do we write it? Because it's a little bit confusing because when we start, we initiate a row and then we assign a value 0 to 0. We append 0, 0, 0 to each row, and then
You
just
want me to initialize a matrix, is it?
yes, yes.
Okay. So let's go over it. So let's see. There's a matrix called M. So what I have to do, I have to create a list inside it or multiple lists inside this matrix M. Okay, so how would I do that? So suppose I want to fill it, it's a 3 by 3. I want to fill it up with zeros or 1 2 3 or whatever. 1 2 3 only. So let's take an index I equal to 0. So the simplest using for loops would be, suppose I go for x in range 3. So what do I have to do here? I have to create another list. I have to make a list over here with 1, 2, and 3. How do I just think of how do I create a row? First thing, how do I create a row? How would one make this kind of row? Any idea?
List comprehension.
No, like normal for loops. We'll do with list also.
In
But
so nested for loop.
yeah, to
Yeah,
create
nested
this,
for loops.
I can say suppose something some temporary variable. Okay, temp equal to, what can I do? I can just add I to it, right? For y in range 3, I can add an element to it. So that would be temp dot append I. Okay, so what will this do me? This will create a list like this.
Why I
Why?
why
Yes.
No, I want to append I so that 1 2 3 4 5 6 and then and so on. I plus plus I'll do. Yeah, I equal
no
to I
sir, but
plus 1.
we are using okay.
Okay. I
Okay.
wanted to do something like 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 8
Okay.
9.
Fine.
That's why. Is this clear? Like, just don't think about the outside loop right now. Think of just the this row, this particular row. Will this make me a row?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Right, right.
It will.
So that will make me a row, but I want, suppose, multiple rows of that appended in my original matrix M. So what will I do? I'll just take this temp row and append it to my row. I plus 1. So what can I do? M dot append temp, or temp a copy of temp. Okay. So why would I do this a copy of temp? Okay, first let me show with temp only. If I append temp itself is a list. It will go inside this row, this matrix, and it will 1 2 3. It will be like this. Next up, for another iteration, what will happen? It will make
It will
another
be
list,
updated.
and it will make it 4 5 6 and so on. Right? Are you getting it?
So how
Yes, sir.
this create 4 5 6? Every time it's 1 2 3, na?
I'm adding I plus 1, appending 1.
Okay.
Okay, is it okay?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So just think of the, whenever it is something that is nesting is happening, just think of how do I create this element first. So once you've created this element, the other one, just what happens here? This is just a, suppose x. You're just adding x to m, right? We're just adding x to m, not adding appending x to m. That's it. Once you created this, all right. One thing to note over here is, since we did x equal to this, that is fine. But what if I do temp dot clear? How do I use this? Anyone remember how to make it
Here's
blank?
all the elements.
Temp dot remove, or what was it?
Pop
Clear only, right?
or what?
Yes, sir, clear only.
Clear.
It will make it a empty
Okay,
list.
I did not do that. So what would happen? Any guesses?
It will print the same. It will clear after the range of y is fulfilled.
Same output, sir.
Same output.
Yeah.
It will print.
What?
What happened here?
Sir, why is this happening?
Any guesses?
Um,
No guesses?
So it's clearing the previous
I
pending
think, sir,
and
reference
as the
by,
values of the last iteration.
there is called
Yes.
reference by value and reference
Yeah,
by
it
The
also
list
Exactly.
is
another
not
copies.
Exactly.
changing.
Yeah. So what happens if I say m at 0 0 1 now becomes something else? Maybe 3. Not print.
It will reflect in all three rows.
Yeah. So you can see it gets reflected in all three rows. What happens here? These lists, what are these? These are the exact same list that this is referring to.
Same copy.
Okay, same list. That's why we learned the concept about reference by value, reference by, I don't what was it?
Call by reference.
Yeah, call by reference, call by. What happens is, when you don't clear it, you append the same. So I'm appending the same temp, right? I'm appending temp every time.
Yes, sir.
So temp is not a primitive. It's a object that is stored somewhere. So it adds the reference to it. So whatever was the last value, that will be reflected, and any changes I made to one particular copy would reflect in every other, because they are referencing the same exact list.
The
And
memory location is same.
yes, they are
So what
referencing
if
their
we
exact
create
same list.
empty list for temp equal to in the previous method, sir?
Yeah, so
How
what
is
I
it
did
different
here
from
was
this?
temp equal to something else. So what this is, it is making a new list. Whenever I go to this for loop, it's creating a new list for me.
But it is the same name as before, right, sir?
Name does not matter. Name can be anything. But we are creating a new list over here. We
That
say
means
temp equal to
when
something else.
that means and whenever we are exiting from the while loop, m
Yeah.
temp elements is at append to the m, but after that it will create a new list named temp
Yes.
again.
Yes. It creates a new list altogether, fresh list. It does not clear the current list. If I clear the current list, the reference remains the same. Okay. The list becomes empty, but the reference remains the same. It is the original same list only, but it becomes clear. Okay, so when I add that, so only the reference gets added, not the actual values gets added. You have to be careful with this. Not that it will come in exam. This thing won't come in exam at all. This is something that you have to worry about when you actually code.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I have a
Don't
question.
we use libraries while actually coding?
Yeah, so while coding, but these things you'll do anyways, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Normal list operations, sets, and all. These are
Yeah,
used
yes,
everywhere.
yes. These are useful for GIPS and OPP, right?
Sorry?
These will be useful for OPP. We have proctored
Uh,
exam also.
yeah. Okay, one more thing. Yeah, so this thing, how will it, why did I tell you this? Because if I want to make a copy of this list, suppose we have m, suppose n. If I say n equal to m,
No, we have to write m dot
Okay.
copy or
Yes.
something.
So this is where the reference thing comes again. So now n and m are referencing to the exact same list. So any change in the m will also reflect in n. So if I say n, print n here, and print m over here, and I change some values in n. Okay, n at 0 at 0
We can also
equal
say
to
that we
pi.
can also say that the list got two names, M and N.
Yeah, so it's reflected in both. That's why either use, if you want to copy a list, you can either use dot copy. Is it copy? I tend to forget.
Dot copy, yes.
Yeah, so either use this. Huh? What happened here?
Copy doesn't create a new
Okay,
list.
it's a shallow copy, right? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Yeah, so even with this, since it's not, so this is a list of lists, right? It's a list of lists. If it is a normal list, then it would, this copy would work. Since this list has another list in this, so this list itself is a reference, right? That's why this
Deeper,
copy also does not make a
Restart
full
session
copy.
deeper
would
copy,
work, I think so.
deeper copy, deeper copy.
Yeah, so I don't know, there's a deep copy or something there. So this will work when you have a single list. So suppose
Sir, restarting the session would work, sir.
restarting the,
Session. Like go to runtime and
yeah,
restart.
but what would that
So
do?
one more doubt. When in questions it's written that change values in place. So
Hmm.
does it mean we have to change the original?
Yes. So values in place. In place means you have, okay, you have n, and you have to modify this n. You can't create a new copy of it and then use it. You have to use the original list. So suppose I'm using list only. This is matrix is a list of list. So suppose I have a list, li equal to something. Okay. So if I want to change something in place means what? This list will become, this list will be the original list, and I will
Without creating a
modify
new
this
list.
original list. Okay, so if I want to remove 2 from this list, what could be the two methods? One would be like in place. In place means this li reference to the same object. Okay, so that would be li dot remove 2. Now I can print li. Okay, this is one method. Another one would be not in place. I don't know what that is called. So what I can say is, what can I do? If I don't want to remove in place, I
You
can
can
say
make a copy, but
We can make a copy and then remove.
that would be very simple. So something much more complex. Okay, so suppose instead of removing this, I want to remove the index. So you can pop one. Okay, and does the same thing, but I'm talking about the indexes now. So what does this do? When I slice a list, does it make, when I say li equal to li, is it the original list when I slice it,
no,
or does
it's a
it make a
copy.
copy of it?
It's a
Makes a
copy.
copy.
It's a copy, it's not the original list. So this is happening not in place. So in this case I can say slice from 1, from 0, from start to where, to, and li add from
Two
this
two forward.
to end. Okay, so these two will do the exact same thing, but it's not the original list li. But how do I prove that? Any idea how could I prove that?
Make some changes in that.
Yeah, but there is a inbuilt method known as the, what is the
Is
name?
Get size of.
No, not size. It gives the actual memory address or something. Let me search it. Can anyone also search? Yeah, id. Id is that function. So if I say id of li and id, I need to print it out, right? Print id of li, and here also print id of li, and let me print it before also, before popping, to just check if this is the same or not. After popping, it is the same list or not. So you can see these two are the same. Why? Because popping is happening in place. The memory address of li does not change. All right, these
Yes,
two
sir.
are the same, but this is different. This particular string is different. Okay, so that the address actually changes. When I say li equal to li dot something something, actual li, even though I replaced the actual li, this li is not the same as the previous li.
A copy of li.
Yes, it points to a different memory address, which is yeah, which stores the same values, but it is not the same list. Okay.
Sir, id returns integer value or string value, sir?
Let's see. I'm not sure.
Sir, there are many more questions,
Yeah.
like PYQ questions. So when will they be discussed?
So next
Some of
session is
them.
there. There are two more TA sessions, right? So that'll be discussed.
Sir, I have a
No, just
question.
Yeah. Anything
Hello.
else? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have a question. Sir, is there any way to input a list from terminal? Like, we input
Huh?
integers, int input.
No.
Is there any way like
Terminal. Yeah. So from terminal, you'll directly get strings only. From strings, you have to convert to or whatever data type you want. Okay. So if you, when you're inputting, anytime you're inputting, it is always string. You can't input anything else other than string.
no, but we can input integers, right? Int input. It takes
No,
integer and
then
convert it. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you're
The
taking a
typecast.
string and then converting it back. Okay. Anything else? Any questions you can ask? Okay, this is the end of the session. If you have doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll drop off.
We would like to know your name, sir.
Yeah, this is Aditya.
Nice to see you, sir.
I also teach Mat 2. So when you go to diploma, then you will be troubled by Mat 2. Then you can call me.
MAD means what, sir? MAD.
Modern application development.
Okay.
Mad. Wow, nice name.
Yeah, that would make you crazy. That's why it's named Mad. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Yeah. You have a
Thank you,
question
sir.
Which week we have discussion, sir?
for quiz? You are asking which weeks? Sorry,
Quiz
can
we
you
don't
repeat?
have. In which week we have recursion, sir? Previously it was in the fourth week itself. Now I think it is
Which
changed.
session? Sorry, I did not get to you properly.
I'm asking in which week this recursion.
Oh,
Functions
recursion.
is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Some
Uh,
topics are.
yeah, we shuffled it a little bit to make it much more better suited for your needs. I am not sure exactly. I think yeah, it is there before week around week 8. Like it is there before your OPPs. So OPP has recursion. So around
In the
like
book, it is chapter 4 itself.
hmm.
That means it was in the week 4.
Yeah. So what happened was
Stack and
previously.
queue also.
So that everything will be introduced. Everything is there, but it is just that previously it was in a different order, but we changed it around to this order, and specifically because recursion at the start, if you tell what recursion is, half of half of you will like, go back and say that don't want to attend this session. Okay, so recursion will come later on when you're familiar with Python. That's when recursion will come.
What is the difference between giving a string with enclosed quotes and triple quotes?
There's no difference. There's no difference. It's the only thing is that since we use double quotes and since we use the double quotes and triple quotes inside a string, that's why it's better to, if you're writing a very long string, right, why not use triple quotes, so that any double quotes and triple quotes, sorry, double quotes and single quotes that you use inside your string will not be counted as the end of that string. That is the only reason.
And I mean,
So there is no
I
difference between double quotes, triple quotes, single quotes. Only difference is when you use the f string. So f string can, you can add templates to it. That's the only difference.
actually I mean single double quote and triple double quote.
Yeah, all are same.
Dot
It is
string attribute we use triple quotes. Right? What is the difference between that and double quotes for uh, defining strings?
no, see, there is no particular difference between. It's just that we are used, since what does Python look for at the end of the string? So to terminate a string, so suppose you're starting a string with double quotes, what will it look for to say that okay, this is the end of the string? It will look for another double quote, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Similarly, if you start
Start
a
with
string with triple quotes or three single quotes, okay, then it will look for three single quotes to terminate that string. That's it. So a double quote. So if you start the string with triple quotes, double quotes inside the string or single quotes inside the string won't terminate the string. It will only terminate when it sees a triple quote. Okay, that's it.
okay.
Okay, yeah. Anything else? Okay, thank you everyone. See you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.